Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Lips LA Radio. We are with the one and only Steve Aoki and Ross Butler. Double your pleasure today. How great is that?
Double trouble.
And you guys have a love affair like I've never seen.
Yeah, we just started dating
about 2 months ago. Yeah,
I introduced you guys, and honestly, I thought you guys were going to pick out furniture together. I'm sorry, but it was
we
like
already
a crazy.
did. We already did.
Yeah.
You'll be moving in together anytime soon. So you guys both need no introductions, but Steve is obviously one of the biggest DJs in the world, constantly on the Forbes list. Definitely rated as one of the highest paid DJs in the world. I've known you since when? Before you were a DJ, I believe, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
What?
And
Really?
yes, I
over
think
10 years.
Yeah.
15. Actually, over 15 years ago.
crazy. And Ross,
Yeah.
I've known you and been friends with you for many years too, before you were on 13 Reasons Why.
Oh yeah, way before that. I think even before I started acting.
And there's so many connections you guys have, which you probably don't even know, but I'm going to get into. The only thing I will say, I went to see the Queen movie this weekend, and
That's out?
it's out, and
Yeah.
both of your favorite songs, oddly enough, because I'm talking about you guys getting married one day, are both Queen songs. Yours is Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah.
and yours is Somebody to Love. I
No,
believe.
Don't Stop Me Now.
Don't Stop
but
Me
somebody,
Now, okay.
somebody Love is great. Don't Stop Me Now. That's a great
that's
song.
Well,
that
what
song
is the
really
likelihood of two guys that became such good friends having both the same? Queen is your favorite band and favorite song.
I had no idea that was your favorite band.
We just have great taste in music. Yeah,
Fist bump on
Fist
that
bump.
one?
Yeah.
Fist bump.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd say Queen's it's up there in my favorite bands, but Linkin Park is which is why,
Oh,
Just another
we'll connection.
man, what? This bromance just gets better and
Wait,
better.
what is that? Yours too? Oh my
Just
God.
another
Yeah,
connection.
Linkin Park is one of my favorite bands of all time.
No.
And yeah. I mean,
Meteora got me through high school.
Hybrid Theory,
Yeah, Hybrid
Meteora,
Theory, yeah.
even the later albums, all of it,
Minutes
all
to
of it.
Midnight, all that. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of similarities between you two, but I want to take it back to the beginning. Steve, I mean, your documentary, obviously, you and I hang out a bunch, but it's called I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, because obviously you're the hardest working guy I've ever seen, and much respect, because I think I work hard, then I hang around you, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. You are definitely the hardest guy I've ever seen work in this business, and much respect, because it's a quality that a lot of people should learn from, actually. So, and you have the #1 song this past week in the whole world, which is incredible, right, from BTS.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
So how does it feel after all these years of doing this, starting before you were like promoting clubs, you started a record label, and this week you literally had the #1 song in the world. I mean, take me back to the beginning, because that's a pretty amazing feat, and I congratulated you the other day, but I want to say congratulations on the air again.
Thank
so
you.
how does that feel? It must feel incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I think, I mean, you don't ever expect something like that. You don't. It's something that you can't really fathom something at that degree. It's you hope for the best. You hope, that some people like it, a little bit more than that. But especially where I come from, I mean, when I found music, when the straight edge hardcore scene was what I found. Okay. And that scene is so small, and it's like part of the, punk rock subculture, which is, it's like against the mainstream. It's like, we're so small, we're going to be like, no, we don't want to be on the
famous,
radio.
right.
We don't want to be famous.
We hate the radio.
We don't want major label support. Right. We're doing this on our own. And then fast forward decades later, it's just a different world. But
you get that work ethic from your dad, I believe, right? Because I think your dad worked super hard, from what I understand, and he was a marketing genius, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Rocky Aoki started Benihana's, and also was breaking the mold back then. He had his face on like hot air balloons. He was wrestling. He was racing cars.
Bizarre.
So
Really?
I want to feel
I
like
just knew about Benihana, but I
Yeah.
didn't know about all that.
You didn't
other
know
stuff. Know about the air balloons, the hot air balloons?
That's the thing about my dad. He was a restaurateur, which everyone in America knows Benihana, but like growing up, how he branded it was outside of the restaurant business. That's how it actually became a household name, because like he would do the hot air balloons, and he would scrawl Benihana across the balloons. He would do like break records there. He would offshore boat race with Benihana across the boat. So he just kind of cross-marketed.
I can see how the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
You think there's any way that you got that marketing capability from watching what he did with all that? Because it's a pretty parallel universe, I think.
I always say that he's not like the kind of father that's like, all right, son, I'm going to sit you down. Here's like the 101 on marketing or branding or whatever. It's more like, you just absorb it, and you kind of like, as a kid, I think it affects you to the point where you're like, I dream to do this.
Right.
And, I think it's more subconscious than anything else. But it's crazy thinking back about that.
And you grew up in Newport and kind of a show business family too, because your sister Devin, we work with, and I love your sister. Shout out to Devin Aoki.
Oh yeah.
So you kind of have like a whole entertainment family, right?
I mean, before I was doing anything, Devin already blew up. Devin blew up when she was 15. I was 20, and I was a punk kid in college, and she was already working with Karl Lagerfeld and Chanel, and traveling around the world modeling and being a supermodel. And I was like, well, I'm just a punk kid. I'm gonna do my thing. And I looked up to Devin, even though she was my baby sister. I was like, wow, she made it. She really broke the mold, especially for Asian Americans. It's incredible to see that.
It's amazing. I kind of feel like I met you when you first started, and you were doing clubs out here. You were discovering bands like The Kills even before they had music. Which again, you've always been great at discovering bands right before they break, and you have your own label. So talk a little bit about your label, the artists you've discovered, any artists that you missed that you really wanted to sign that you're like, shit, you had Block Party, you had The Kills.
I'll tell you a story that, Block Party and The Kills, those were the artists that really broke Dimmock in that era, because I was putting out, this is before I was a DJ, this is when I was a rock kid. And I had an opportunity to release Arcade Fire's first EP.
Wow.
Whoa. What?
Yeah.
And you passed on it. Tell me you passed on it.
No, I didn't. It was not really a pass. It was more of a negotiation process that, I was talking with their lawyer, which was their manager at the time. And I didn't talk to the band. I was just talking with her, and she's like, okay, we want to release this EP before Funeral came out. And I just negotiated too hard, and I lost the deal. But that was like one of my what if moments.
But you did find The Kills and Block Party. So
yes, The
like
Kills, Block Party. We released over 1,000 records now in the catalog.
Jeez.
Which are the ones that you're
years.
the most proud of? You have ones that you're like. Super
The Chainsmokers was like probably the big EDM.
See, I didn't even know that you kind of discovered those guys.
Neither did I. Wow.
Yeah, we put out their first 3 singles before Roses, when Roses
Amazing.
Really launched them. So we were putting out more of their underground. We put out Selfie as like their first kind of like, hello, we're here with the Chainsmokers.
Because a lot of people know you as a DJ, obviously a worldwide renowned DJ, but obviously people don't know you're a producer, you have a record label. I don't know how many products you have out, but I took a tour of your house the other day in Vegas. Ross, you're next, so you're going to come check it out.
We've been talking about that. Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm wearing the socks, I have the hoodie on here, I'm representing, I got the jacket in the back here somewhere. So how many products do you actually have at this point? Do you know? Because I couldn't keep up. There was every 5 minutes there was like a Steve Aoki something coming at me. I know you have a pizza line now, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried that, Ross?
A pizza line? Yeah, actually, I have.
You have?
I ordered it. I think the day that
did you
came
get
out
it free
on
or not?
I didn't, but they've offered for my next cheat day to send me a free pizza, so it was pretty good. I got the pepperoni.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Ross.
I loved it, man.
But even that idea, Steve, how did that come about? Because me and Ross want to start a pizza company, and we're not so fortunate to come up with ideas like this. So.
It's I don't know. It's the kind of thing I have to give it up to like the idea of collaboration and working with amazing people in different fields, and just this. I guess the whole thing is, I'm gonna break it down as a kid, and I think the takeaway here is that to all the people out there that have great ideas and they're like, well, how do I bring it to execution? Well, the thing is that you can make anything possible. And that's what I found when I was a kid, when I found this hardcore scene, is that we got together and we're such a small little band of people that we need to broadcast. We need to publicize, promote what we're doing. And we'll do it by any means possible, by any means necessary. So we're going to start a band, even though it's a bad band.
Right.
We're going to.
What was the name of the band?
My band was called Goodhue. It was my teacher, Mr. Goodhue.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to start a zine. I'm going to start like writing poetry, bad poetry, interviewing bands, putting together a zine. And like the thing is like you don't need a marketing plan. You don't need.
If you build it, they'll come.
basically you have to think realistically. Like it doesn't have to be as big as your aspirational, the things you compare that you want to become. Start small, start with the resources that you have.
Definitely.
And you can do a pizza brand that's selling to your 5 friends. Like
Ross,
literally, you could make your own pizzas in your kitchen and sell it to your 5 friends, and that's how you start. You could be a DJ, start in your living room. You could have a clothing line, start by silkscreen T-shirts, which is what I did when I was 15 years old. I was in my mom's closet, emulsifying the ink, silk screening,
Man,
and
Scott,
selling the shirts for $5.
I feel like I'm not doing anything.
I know,
with my
I'm not
life.
doing anything
Jeez.
either. Actually, fast forward, that zine that you made is now your own comic book too, right? So what is there anything you haven't done?
I mean, the thing is, it's like now it's a little bit more complex because I can't do that alone. I have to say that
It's collaboration.
It's
We live in a
exactly
very
collaboration.
collaborative society.
So in order to become to that professional step, I have the platform to allow myself to do the collaborations with individuals that have a history in those fields.
Well, you have a great team around you too.
But when you start, I think the real takeaway is like when you start, you're like, how do I do this comic book? You start by like drawing comics. You start by doing things and really going like, is this my passion? Like if it's your passion, you will put the time in because the passion will end up becoming something that's a real execution.
Definitely.
So
Takeaway to that, Ross, me and you are doing nothing.
Yeah.
I do want to jump to Wasted on Me. This song has 13 million views last I checked on YouTube, which is incredible. #1 song in the world as of last week, and it's probably still the #1 song in the world. So that's got to be the most amazing feeling ever. Is this your first #1, like the biggest #1 that you've had so far?
Yeah, I mean, by far globally. And, whenever I think about my music, I don't think about, because like if I get on the radio, it's a huge win for me because I'm never playlisted on the radio, very, very, very rarely. So for me, like my success in my music has always been just, listens, streams, global listens, and how my shows are affected by that as well, because at the end of the day, I make my music also to be able to play it for people in front of me.
Definitely.
So,
and you guys have you actually have such a love affair that Ross, you covered the song and you put it on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And then Steve, you reposted it, I think today or something.
The thing is, Ross is a
good
BTS
singer.
fan, though.
I
We talked
now.
about that.
Yeah.
So,
were you a BTS fan before, Ross?
I knew of them, but I wasn't like a diehard fan. But then after this song, I was just like, this is really catchy, and they're actually really crossing over. It's one of the first, I guess, K-pop or I guess any Asian band to really cross over. And I just like the song. I was like, I think this could work really well as an acoustic, like 90s-ish type of thing, and just did it. Yeah.
And when did you guys actually become aware of each other? I mean, you've probably known about Steve for a while.
I've known
but
Steve.
Steve, when did you learn about Ross and everything he was up to?
Obviously 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, it's like it like takes me back to when I was a kid and I was watching Bruce Lee going, hey, there's an Asian guy that everyone likes. And then, fast forward into watching 13 Reasons Why and then seeing Ross Butler as Asian guy that like the whole world knows about and everyone's like loves this guy, like I was like,
Everyone
man,
loves
I'm like
Ross.
cheering Ross on like he's my best friend. I'm like, I don't know him, but I'm like, I want to know him. And I'm like in his corner going, go Ross, go Ross.
I mean,
So,
dude, Steve,
Go Ross.
when I was like in high school, yeah, Steve, you were that person to me because you were like the cool DJ, and it's just like I didn't know any cool Asian DJs growing up, and you were the guy that was caking people and like going crazy. I was just like, I want to be that because it's like the whole Asian thing wasn't your brand. You were just like a cool party guy.
The cake thing kind of
yeah.
started at Coachella, right? Is that where it started?
where it started?
Or was that the raft thing started at Coachella?
The raft thing started at Coachella in 2009,
Right.
which was like, it sparked the whole thing for me going, wow, if I come up with something that's unique, then people will know it's a Steve Aoki experience.
Definitely.
So then I was like, what is the next thing after riding on a raft on a crowd? And I was,
Let me throw a cake in someone's face.
well, yeah,
Or
trial
putting
and
your
error.
face
Trial
on a
and
hot air
error.
balloon.
Trial and error.
Just-
Try something new every day and and keep thinking about like a silly idea. And that actually was a very silly, kind of like dumb idea and kind of like a gimmick. Like, all
but
right.
people really want it because I put something up on my Instagram, who wants to get caked by you? And actually someone wrote to me and they're here at the studio. So oddly enough, we're going to do this in a little bit. So we are going to actually,
pizzas
you're
at
going
people's
to,
face.
we're not on, have you ever-
greasy.
Pizza.
You don't normally do caking in the middle of the street, but it's a new thing that we're going to do today. So, so let's talk about in the business of EDM and where it's all gone, and everything, Steve. So DJs these days, I've heard somewhere that Steve Wynn he's paid DJs up to like $400,000 for the night, which is insane. And when you first started, you probably were making like peanuts, right? So the business.
Yeah, my first paycheck was.
I saw it at your house the other day, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was actually a lot of money. That paycheck you saw was $250.
Right.
But I mean, I was making like, you know, bar tab for one was the first start.
Wow.
I was like, oh, yo, I get free drinks in here. But then like 220s now, I'm like, yo, I'm living it up, you know, like 'cause I was enjoying DJing and you know, in these small little bars and stuff. But, you know, like, yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, when it comes down to like the exorbitant rate of what DJs make, it's at the end of the day, it's all economic. So if like, you know, let's just talk about numbers here. Let's say like DJ makes $100,000, right? And if the club, if Steve Wynn or whoever, a big club is like going to pay them $100,000, the club itself has to make
certain amount.
Exactly.
Right.
So if they're not making that number, then the DJ
doesn't get paid.
When the contract comes up, it's like, sorry, we can't pay you $100,000, but we actually. It can go both ways. We made so much money because you brought all these people in that we're going to actually give you a raise because someone else is going to take you.
Right.
So it's economics at the end of the day. It's like you know, it's like, you know, another artist that can bring in talent. So they should get more money. If they don't, they're not going to get as much. So it's like that's the game that's being played.
I think for both of you guys, an interesting question is: at what point in your careers did you realize, you know what, I'm onto something here? Like, I think this is a path that I can obviously use a DJ and Ross as an actor. There had to be a moment where Ross, maybe it was a movie you did, maybe it was Riverdale, because Ross was also on Riverdale. If you guys don't know, Steve, was it your first like major festival that you did that you were like, this is definitely, this is my career for the rest of my life. I started as a producer and I was doing clubs and this and that, but now I feel like I really hit my stride with this business.
I mean, it's been these small little victories. It wasn't this like miraculous moment where things just like blew up. I think it was a very, very small steps that all happened. But I'd have to say playing festivals was for me an emotional victory.
Yeah.
You know, going from a small club to playing at Coachella in 2007, that was a really big moment. Like, holy shit, I'm like playing at Coachella, even though I'm opening in front of like a quarter of the crowd. Yeah. Some of them are sitting down. Like still I'm like on the bill, and that was a big moment. What about you, Ross? Like,
yeah, well, I think the question is determining between when I committed to doing this as a job and when I actually got the validation that, you know, that this is possible. But I mean, yeah, of course the validation comes with being on a show and doing a movie, but yeah, there was a moment, I think it was like a year or two after taking acting classes where I really fell in love with just the art and the craft of it, and I had like a hallucinatory moment.
I think that's a word.
Is that the word? It's just like, I feel like I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, whether it be acting or producing or just creating content. Like, yeah, now I'm spreading into different fields in entertainment, but I just love telling stories. So
I will say, and this should be a lesson to everyone out there who wants to really, you know, market themselves and be successful. Ross is so intuitive with this kind of stuff. You would even hit me up and say, I have this idea for this great piece, right? And you don't need to do that, Ross, but your hustle and the fact, Steve, your amazing marketing capability, that's part of the reason you guys are so successful, because that marketing capability is what makes people who they are, and people, not everyone has that, obviously. So shout out.
It's
to
also,
you
yeah,
guys
it's what Steve said earlier. It's like, if you really love it, it'll come. If you just put in the work, that's all it takes. But you really have to love it, or else you're not going to put in the work. You're not going to attract the things that you need to attract.
Definitely.
And I have a question for you, Ross. So
I like this. Steve interviewing Ross. I don't even have to talk. It makes my job very easy.
And what you're talking about actually made, like it sparked this question. Like, you know, acting, like, it's so hard. Like when you, like the facial expressions, like, you know, because I try to act in like some music videos or like my own YouTube thing. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it, man. Like, so I guess the question is like, is it a natural thing, or do you have to work towards getting to that place where you can make people feel something so strong where they cry or get angry or yell at the screen, or, you know?
I think it's half and half. It's just about being comfortable. I think with everything that's creative, you need to have a level of comfort in order to do it well, because you're channeling something. And sure, acting takes some technique, like you have to learn how to analyze a script or to know the beats. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's just allowing yourself to go to a deeper place and allowing yourself to do it in front of a camera. I think everybody has some ability to act. It's just your openness, or
your and season 2. You know, we've talked
Ross
about.
is going to tell us. We want secrets about season 3.
Well, season 2. Let me just say, like, your performance blew me away. Like, you stole the screen for me. I was, you know, and that's when I was like, that's my dog. You know what I mean?
Thank
like,
you, man.
And then
like,
the introduction
like,
came, and there you go.
It really was like, okay, Ross is a cool member of 13 Reasons Why, but then in season 2, you know, it just like the emotions, the accenting all the things that make you feel something. Like that really came out. Like,
I appreciate that. Man.
Can you talk about that a little bit? I don't know. Like,
I'm gonna step away for a minute and
no, but you know, it's just like because like for me, like if I'm listening right now to this interview, right, and I'm like, I mean, everyone I know as I'm saying this, people listening are thinking season 2 Ross Butler. Let's just
but
stop.
Steve, we really want to know about season 3. What people we need the
I
secrets.
Can't say anything about season 3.
You can give us a hint or something.
I can't.
How good friends are we?
If Netflix is listening to this, I am holding to my contract. My NDA, I can't say anything. But no, it's going back to what you said. It's just like season 2 is heavily about the Asian American experience, to be honest, because with me and my mom and about not showing emotions and all that. So yeah, it is just being myself and then just allowing people to see it and being open enough. And, you know, with the writers, they had talked to me, the head writer, Brian, he talked to me about my family and everything. So yeah, it was half telling a story, but then also half telling my story. So,
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what made it authentic and you probably get it as well.
That really hit home, hit to my heart. Cause I you know, it's like seeing an Asian face going through these kinds of things. It's represents the Asian community, and just like you said, the Asian American experience. Yeah. And shout out to the writers of 13 Reasons Why for covering so many issues that teenagers face on a daily basis. Yeah. It's not just like it opened up this box, season 2, that
it started the conversation. I think,
so
right?
important.
Yeah, it started the conversation between parents and kids and what's important, right? And having that dialogue about super important issues like suicide, obviously, right, Ross?
Yeah. That's what we aim to do, just break down the barriers, because, you know, some people will say that it was too much, some people will say it was perfect, but I mean, we got people talking about it, so that's what's most important.
So hold that thought. I want to play Just Hold On, a great Steve Aoki track.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about secrets of season 3. No, we won't. All right, this is Just Hold On, Steve Aoki and Lewis Tomlinson. Hey guys, we're back. You listen to Lips LA Radio. You are with Steve Aoki and Ross Butler, Double Trouble. One of the best DJs in the world, and Ross Butler from 13 Reasons Why. So we did this game the other day, Ross, at your house, where you do this, Ross, sorry, that would be Steve at your house, where this challenge, this trivia challenge, which you're great at. And I thought it'd be a really great thing to do with Ross.
Okay.
Because you can kind of tell Ross the deal with this trivia question thing that you have. And, and I lost, and also our buddy Will lost. And we actually asked 2 questions. Why don't you explain it a little bit, Steve?
Any kind of trivia? Okay, I'll let you explain.
Steve will explain it.
So you pick, anyone in the room can pick a subject. And it's got to be an actual number on the internet or something. It doesn't have to necessarily be the most accurate number, whatever's on the internet. Like, for example, random question like this: what is the average number of times a person has sex over their lifetime? Right.
Oh.
And then we guess up and down all the way, not up and down, like we keep going up until let's say I say 10,000. You're like, you know what? I don't think it's anything higher. I'm going to take lower.
Oh, okay. So you high, low type of thing.
Exactly. Okay. So then we pick a number or I'll say like 3,000. You're like, nah, I think it's a little bit higher. I'll take 3,500. Now I'm like, no, I think it's 3,600. We'll just keep going until we stop.
So I have the question for you because I lost the other day, and so I was determined to make sure that I don't lose again. But regardless, Steve, you have so many products, like I mentioned, right? Because you don't even know actually how many products do you have. How many products do you have between the socks and the pizza and the restaurants you have? There's a lot of products. That's not the question, because I think you might know the answer.
I don't know.
Because I just had Gene Simmons from Kiss on the show the other day, and they're probably one of the most successful bands in the history of music merchandising. I figured, can you guys tell me and guess how many products Kiss have on the marketplace?
How many products, like T-shirts, hoodies,
right? Like licensing deals, products.
Oh my God.
Right. So that's the question, and then I want to see who wins.
You actually have the number, Scott?
I do have the number.
Yeah, once he has the number,
and we're betting on a Dim Mac sweatshirt.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So, if I win, you have to buy one.
Okay.
Okay. If I lose, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to put a disclaimer on it. So.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what? If I win, Scott Lips has to buy it for you.
I already bought one. I can't do
You
that.
have,
that.
I'm
it's
not
your,
agreeing
it's
to
your
that.
TV
I
show.
can't-
It's your
I
TV
can't-
show.
I can't agree
Don't,
with that.
you know, like you gotta let your guest
I think that's a
purchase.
rough-
Okay, so Scott
Maybe
Lips.
it's-
Scott
I
Lips
can't- we
is.
can't keep
You don't
making
have
our
to
own
buy
rules on
anything.
this.
Scott Lips is buying
I don't
this
know about
hoodie
that.
for
I already
you.
bought one. I'm broke.
I
now.
know, but Scott, we're your guests. We're supporting you.
I'll buy you a
okay?
pizza Aoki. How about that? That's what I'll buy. I'm buying
Okay,
you
so
a pizza
all right, so
Aoki.
we're changing it from a hoodie to a pizza Aoki that Scott Lips
I will buy, yes.
for you
Correct.
if
Okay.
you lose.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And if
Okay.
I win, I have to buy it for Scott.
So I know the
Yeah, yeah,
answer.
exactly.
I know the answer. Who wants to go first?
So we have to keep going up and up.
So I'm
Okay.
going to start at a very conservative number. I'm going to say 4 items, and then you can keep going up. But you can keep going up, and I can go up and go up and say we'll stop.
I'm gonna skip ahead and say 150.
155. And
Okay,
you can
what
keep-
is this? The Price is Right?
So basically, that's what it is. So you could go 154 and below.
Yeah, no, but I mean this is Kiss. They have to have at least like 300.
Okay, I'll take 299 and below, and you're taking 300 and above.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
300?
All right.
All right.
All right.
It
So I'm
has to be more.
299 and below.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
3,000.
Yeah.
More than
Oh
3,000.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just
I'm
like,
way
there's
off.
no
I'm
way.
way off. I mean,
Well, it's sort
I'm-
of like Long Island, right? You guess there's
Yeah.
like 250,000 people living there. It was like 8.5 million.
Right,
or something.
right.
I knew it was gonna be in the thousands, but I was just like Steve. I was trying to do like a dramatic thing where it's just like we keep building and building and building.
Yeah, I should have kept going up.
299.
I know. I was like, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, how many? Because in my head, I'm thinking, there's a T-shirt, there's a hoodie, there's a sock, there's a shoe. You know?
No, there's,
I mean, you
three
know
that,
that-
there's toilet bowl, there's condoms,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
coffins.
Yeah.
It's like they
there's-
gotta have a T-shirt
there's
for at
everything.
least every song they have.
Yeah, like the paint. I think it's probably Kiss paint,
everything,
you know,
yeah.
for your face. and
All
stuff.
right, Steve, last but not least, Neon Future 3 is coming out. You're super excited about that, right?
Yes,
You
I am,
collaborated
yeah.
with a ton of artists on this album, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. You have collaborations with BTS, Kiara, Lil Yachty, Bella Thorne, which is an interesting one, Jimmy
Really?
Eat World, Lady Antebellum.
Bella.
So tell us about, because it's dropping any day now.
Yeah, it's dropping on November 9th next week. It's 3 years in the making since Neon Future 2. So Neon Future 2 came out in 2015, and it's just mega collabs of 17 songs. A lot of them, you know, actually like maybe I don't know, a third or maybe more have already came out. Lauren Hargey, Louis Tomlinson,
BTS. So.
BTS. But the new one with Blink 182 is a banger.
Wow.
And that
You got Jimmy Eat World. on
And
the record
Jimmy,
too,
yeah,
so
Jimmy
the
Eat World,
90s,
yeah.
90s rock
Oh
revival,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So, I mean, I'm a rock guy, so
Yeah.
you know, I always like working with Linkin Park. That was a dream, you know.
This is
And
coming out next week.
yeah, it's coming out next week.
On the 9th.
And the Bella Thorne one is also like for all the Bella fans out
didn't know
there,
she
they're
sang.
gonna love it.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Wow,
she
amazing.
just absolutely just did an incredible job.
That's awesome. So that's dropping soon. What else is next? There's got to be 8,000. I mean, there's the restaurant, there's the pizza. I know you
Yeah.
donated some of your stuff to the Smithsonian, some of your DJ equipment, which is amazing.
That was a huge milestone. That
Let's
was,
not forget, once again, you have the #1 song in the world right now, and we're going to jump to that song in just a moment.
Yeah.
But anything else? Because I'm sure, like, you do like 3 things a day at least. There's like 2 gigs. There's another. I mean, I can't keep up with you. I'm like dizzy looking at your Instagram. Honestly.
I'm just gonna like I'm not gonna give away too much information on something very, very, very special that's gonna happen. Something special is gonna happen that me and Ross are involved in.
Oh, you're not. You guys aren't getting married, are you?
We're not getting married,
Well,
but we'll put that in there. But maybe,
Domestic
but like
partnership.
let's just
Right. Okay.
you know, yeah. But it's very exciting.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Ross, you have Shazam coming out. That's on
Yes, we
Wikipedia,
do.
so we can talk about that.
It's on
I'm sorry,
Wikipedia.
you know, but it's on the Wikipedia. You can
yes,
talk about
I
it.
can't say in what regard I am, but yes.
You guys are
Shazam.
both into comic books and superheroes.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, right?
Yeah. Green
All this
Lantern's your
stuff.
favorite?
Yeah, that's my absolute
I'm a
favorite.
Wolverine guy.
You know what?
Always Wolverine.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, if I could be a superhero,
Yeah.
then I want to pick Wolverine because he was my favorite.
Yeah.
I have all the Wolverine comics, but Green Lantern, the fact that he can imagine anything,
Yeah.
it just
And
trumps
that's
like
the better
having
power.
like having
Wolverine's
the
also like
adamantium.
depressed and he's like an alcoholic.
Yeah, and he's like angry.
Yeah.
But he's a badass, you know.
Yeah.
But then like the idea, I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to fly into space or I want to swim underwater forever, and I want to, I could just imagine
You can
anything.
just do so much more.
Yeah, Wolverine's way cooler.
Yeah, he's cooler. He's the rock. He's like the punk rock of the
Yeah. He's just
superheroes.
like the angry, because like I, growing up as a punk kid, I'm like, that's probably the best comparison for that.
Yeah.
Like, but
Edgy.
yeah, but I love Wolverine too.
Well, I want to jump to Wasted on Me, the #1 song in the world right now, 13 million views. Is it 13 or 30? I don't know.
I
There's a lot.
actually have no idea.
Probably like 30. Doug, you might know the answer to that. Okay, well, let's call it at least 13 million views. #1 song in the world right now, Steve Aoki. And here it is, Wasted on Me. We'll be right back and wrap it up with Steve Aoki and Ross Butler. And we're back. You're listening to Lips LA Radio. We're with the one and only Steve Aoki, Ross Butler. So, guys, in closing, I know you guys are friends. There's so much on the pipeline coming up. So, this next year for you, Steve, what's going on? Because, let's talk about the 80 things you have going on this year.
Well, the main thing is Neon Future 3. I want to, if whoever's interested in what I'm doing, I'm focusing on my album. You could pre-order right now. It's got 17 collaborations, 17 songs, continuing the Neon Future saga. And more music down the pipeline. I always bring out the music, so.
And you are a futurist, for whatever that's worth. You really believe, you really study
tattoo.
science. You have the tattoo, which I find it's actually fascinating how even your body, you do testing on your body to learn about new methods of preventing disease and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Something you and I speak about from time to time. But being a futurist to you means what? Just being ahead of the curve in terms of where it's going? And because I feel like you're really into this subject.
Yeah, I definitely, I think the main thing is this. I think that our generation is at the precipice of change. Whether we are going to be the last generation of people to die or the first generation of people to live forever. We're really so close with technology.
Well, you'll live forever and I won't. That's what I'm saying.
Our generation. I'm not kidding. I really just reading these books on science and following this. It sounds like a crackpot idea, but I think with technology, we're so close to the point where death is simply a disease that can be cured. I know that's crazy to think about, but I really, that's what the Neon Future is thinking about in this optimist way where, who knows with technology where we can actually go.
Well, I truly believe if anyone can cure it and figure it out, it's probably you. and so Neon Future 3, pick it up. Ross, you got Shazam, you got 13 Reasons Why. You're going to tell us one little secret on the 3rd season before we go or not?
It's the 3rd season comes after the 2nd season.
Wow, you heard it here, guys. Yeah. You're not going to hear that anywhere else. You're getting
exclusive.
That is a big news. I'm blown away right now.
Two very close friends of mine. You're getting exclusives here. You'll get nowhere else in the world.
The 3rd comes after the 2nd. Holy.
Talk about the future.
So
that's the future.
That's the future. 3 comes after 2.
Yeah.
You guys will have to check the YouTube link, but we're about to cake someone right now in the alleyway. So tune in to the YouTube channel when you'll see Steve cake one of the guests. Woo. And thanks again.
How about me and Russ?
Cake each other.
We'll cake the guests together. Let's do it together.
The caking.
No,
right.
let's do it together.
By the way, who lost his bet?
Have you ever caked anyone?
Oh wait. No, have I kicked anyone?
Yeah,
no, why would I ever cake anyone? What situation would I be in to ever cake someone?
We got to do this. This is part of the bromance.
I don't want to ruin the guy's experience.
He
wants the full cake from Steve.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for coming on. It's been a blast. Awesome. And we'll be doing the caking on YouTube right now. Thanks, guys.
You asked the question. You said
who won? Who won in the end? I don't even remember.
I won.
Ross won.
Okay, so I don't have to buy a pizza.
So I have to send a pizza to you.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure.
I was going to get one anyway.
No. Let me. I got the next pizza. You like the pepperoni, right?
Anything.
Okay, because I like
pineapple, pepperoni.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you the Steve-eroni. That's the pepperoni.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you just hold on. Okay, that's the normal cheese pizza. What else we got, Doug? What other pizzas we have?
It's probably a waste on me pizza, right?
Yeah, well, not yet. I gotta make one. We gotta make a new one.
All right.
Is the Steve-eroni like little pepperonis with cakes on them?
Oh, that's a great idea. We got to make a Ross Butler pizza.
Guys, you guys are going to form a band after all this. I really feel it. There's something going on.
It's starting.
It is definitely starting. Well, thanks so much for coming on, guys. You guys rock. Both great friends of mine. I'm excited to have you here. And here comes the caking episode. Tune into YouTube.
Peace.
Thanks. Yeah.